If you have just been focusing on N, P, and K for fertility on your farm, you may be missing the boat on sulfur. Sulfur is ridiculously important for your crop. We're going to talk about that today.
Well, we need sulfur for every crop. It's one of the essential elements, and it's known as a secondary nutrient, which means you don't need as many pounds as you do of N, P, and K, but you need a significant amount of pounds of sulfur. So we want to make sure we get that out there. But the fear, Brian, is sulfur is leachable.
It is.
So I have to be a little bit careful.
Okay, but it's only about half as leachable as nitrate. So if you've got heavy soil and you're in a colder environment and drier, you don't have to worry too much about sulfur leaching. If you have lots of heat and rain and you have very light soil, then absolutely you got to be concerned about this. Now the other thing you need to think about is there are two forms of sulfur that we talk about. There's elemental sulfur and then there is sulfate. And sulfate is the form the plant's going to use. We use elemental sulfur to actually lower pH. What happens is when you put elemental sulfur out there, there's bacteria that will convert that elemental sulfur over to sulfate, and in the process, sulfuric acid will be formed and pH can be reduced. So this can be a powerful tool. The big thing you're looking for with elemental sulfur though is you want very, very, very small particle size. If you don't have small particle size, you won't have good conversion and quick conversion over to sulfate. The other thing you have to have is oxygen in your soil. So if you have poor drainage, don't use elemental sulfur because it'll smell like rotten eggs out in your soil. If the bacteria aren't there, they aren't alive, they don't have the conditions to thrive, you don't get that conversion over, and now you've got a big problem.
When do you need sulfur in your crop? You need it all throughout the season and you need it to be available. And what you're going to see, like let's take corn for example, if you put just a tiny little bit of sulfur out there early, well once the plant uses that up, it's going to start running short of sulfur. You're going to see that in the upper leaves of the corn plant because sulfur is immobile in the plant. It's so important that once the plant brings it in, puts it into a root or into a leaf, it's going to leave it there. It's critical. So now the new growth at the top of the plant is going to be where you're going to see sulfur shortage. So make sure you're feeding it all through the season. If you've got light soils, that means just like with nitrogen and with boron, you're going to be applying sulfur several times during the year.
Or at least a couple of times. And I would say this too, every time you apply nitrogen, you should probably be applying some sulfur. Having adequate sulfur levels in the plant helps that plant be more efficient with its nitrogen use. And you hear all the time, use less nitrogen, use less nitrogen. Well, you can actually do that if you have the right balance of nutrients in your soil and in the plant, and sulfur is a big key.
Well, Brian, sulfur isn't one though that you want to just spray all over the foliage. Kind of like nitrogen, you can get some burn on the foliage.
Well, if you put too much on.
Yeah, it's one that you want to put down in that side dress or Y drop or just a number of different ways to get it out there. But it is important, and I agree with you, I'd put it on with the nitrogen.
Or if you're going to do over-the-top applications broadcast, to Darren's point, you just have to keep the rate really low and keep the water volume really high. But the great thing with sulfur is, Darren already mentioned you have to worry about leaching, but the thing I like is sulfur will move around a little bit in the soil. So you don't have to worry as much about placement as you do with something like phosphorus that doesn't move at all. So sulfur you could actually put on the soil surface, and in most cases it'll move down in the root zone. So all that's good. And you can use some of this in the fall too. I wouldn't get too carried away, especially in light soils, but we use a lot of ammonium sulfate in the fall. We use manure that contains sulfur. We put water treatment lime on that has some sulfur in it. There are a lot of different ways you can get sulfur out, and if it's me and I'm super low in my soil, I'm going to probably put a little bit out in the fall and then maybe more in the spring.
And the thing is, as you're mentioning, Brian, it can move around a little bit, so you can broadcast this. The efficiency of banding sulfur is just not as important as it is with phosphorus and potassium. Kind of like nitrogen, this is a nutrient you can get by with the broadcast.
All right, now the big reason why we're talking about sulfur today is we used to get lots of free sulfur through air pollution. We just don't get that in North America anymore. So I realize your dad or grandpa might not have used much sulfur. You need to, because not only do we have less sulfur we're getting for free, but we also have much higher yields. And if you go to the Ag PhD Fertilizer Removal app, you'll see how many pounds, and it's a lot, that a good corn crop takes. And even a good bean crop, or just about any crop out there, it needs lots of sulfur. Don't short yourself.
One last comment. Sulfur is very important in your garden too. Having the proper amount of sulfur for your garden crops really improves flavor in many different vegetables. So do some soil testing there. add some sulfur to your vegetable garden program. It will help.
Sulfur is ridiculously important for any crop out there. It's a nutrient you should be applying every single year because it doesn't stick around in the soil very long. So take a look at the sulfur soil test you have, look at your tissue analysis, and consider applying sulfur at least once a year, if not more, on your farm.
One other thing you want to consider for your farm is how to stop our weed of the week. It's coming up next.